Businesses here on the Queensland-New South Wales border, they really are some of the hardest hit by the state's border closure. We know that our tourism industry is losing up to $2 billion for every month that our borders remain closed to interstate visitors. But it does feel like the mood among the community, particularly for those who don't own businesses or aren't directly financially impacted by this border closure, are becoming a little bit more fearful about this latest spike in Victoria and about whether we could see community transmission brought here to Queensland if we do see those borders reopened. As you mentioned, that Courier Mail poll surveying 10,000 Queenslanders revealing that about 83% of them now are in support of the borders closed. So certainly some mixed views amongst the community. I caught up with a couple of people in Coolangatta and here's what they had to say.
I'm expecting her not to, just because of what's been happening in Victoria. I don't think she'll want people coming up here for holidays and stuff from down there with the second wave.
I'm a bit sceptical, to be honest, just based on history. So I'd love it to open. Being in the aviation industry, we're desperate to go to work.
I'm split two ways, really, sitting on the fence. I mean, for tourism-wise, you know, open the borders, but for health reasons, I think the general perception is to keep them closed.
So, Tom, we know this is a huge point of contention for the government and the opposition. Deb Freckling, the opposition leader, said that if she was Premier, the borders would be reopened tomorrow. This morning, speaking on Sky News, she accused Premier Annastacia Palaszczuk of dithering on this issue.
This has been one of the most difficult things for Queenslanders to deal with, is the fact that the Premier doesn't seem to grasp the economic impact of her dithering is making. You know, we've got about 200,000 people out of jobs in Queensland. We are a tourism state. It is important that our borders get open again. We do rely on those southern tourists flowing into the state, particularly in these beautiful winter months of ours. So let's hope the Premier makes the right decision for Queenslanders and opens the borders today.
So, Tom, the Premier will be meeting with the Chief Health Officer this morning. It is looking increasingly likely that the government may delay that border reopening date past July 10 as per our roadmap to recovery. If this is the case, it is expected that the Premier will attempt to offer a sweetener to struggling businesses, allowing more patrons in venues, for example, perhaps taking on the Prime Minister's advice of that 1 person per 2 square metre rule instead of 4. We will be hearing an update from the Premier later this afternoon.